What's up, sneak peekers? This is Brooke Rosenberg here at the 2025 Austin Film Festival on the red carpet for Leads. Let's go talk to some of the cast and crew. Your character arrives and audits his sister's acting class, triggering a battle for the students' attention and hearts. How did you approach playing someone charming and volatile, and what was your mindset into stepping into that role?
Charming and volatile. I just relied on all my real-world skill sets. I think, we're always going into every situation attempting to be,
Feels kind of like a John
not confront it. You don't want to confront any situation like prickly. You want to. I think he kind of leads as a self-defense mechanism with his charm. He's like, I'm a cowboy. I'm happy-go-lucky. I'm all smiles. Let's play. And he's just looking for partners that'll play with him, and he feels like that's what life is all about. That's the adventure. Is if I can get as many people to play with me as possible, then he is actually living like a bold journey that he's kind of like his own hero in his own story. But it's got to be he kind of makes it a little more whimsical and fun for himself, and he knows it's fun for everybody else too, even though maybe he's a little obnoxious.
Producing an independent film like Leads involves juggling so many moving parts. What was the biggest production hurdle you faced, and how did you and Bryan or your team overcome it?
Absolutely. Well, I gotta say, you just gotta give it to the cast and crew. We, in the beginning of this, the way we made this movie was so unorthodox. Bryan had an outline, and we didn't have all the money at first, and we raised money as we went, and he wrote it as we went. And so with that, it was very much like, how can we structure something that we don't even know is concrete? We just kind of believe in the story itself. So all this to say, in the very beginning, I think one of the key elements was assigning these crew positions, and we were like, who is gonna ride or die with us to the end on this thing? And so it was just surrounding ourselves with people that were charismatic, energetic, and just excited about this story, and that we knew they'd give it 110%. So first, I gotta say, cast and crew for that. And then the next thing, as far as just making it happen, was tons of planning and shooting in schedule order. I would say. We had, since we didn't have every scene written, we shot in story order, which is kind of uncommon to do, but we did that because the story kind of changed as we went. So shooting in story order allowed those changes to happen organically versus us having to go back and reshoot stuff. Those were some challenges, but the way we kind of structured the entire thing made it as effortless as possible. So.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Okay, so now this film has been described as a sharp, spirited comedy about second acts and sibling chaos. Yeah. What drew you to the story of siblings and acting class rivalry, and how did you decide to approach it as both a writer and director?
I have a sister. We have a great relationship. I like to think that I am not as crazy as the character of Merritt in the film, and not as exasperating. But I know that we've had our differences over the years, and I feel like there's not that many great sibling stories out there, especially brother-sister movies. You Can Count on Me is an amazing one. The Savages is an amazing one, and I feel like when I was thinking about making this movie, I was like, let me try to take that on. That would be really, really fun. I work at Texas State University. I teach there. I've taught there for 15 years. I knew that if I shot it during my winter break from teaching, I could shoot on campus and use all our equipment and have all of my students work in the cast and the crew. And so that's what I did. So it was very much just building a story around what do I have that is unique that I could bring to bear to a movie, so I kind of started with what do I have at hand first, and then develop the story from there.
No, of course. Okay, thank you so much for answering that. So I read that the film was made in a context of a lesser budget and indie resourcefulness.
Yeah.
Could you walk us through one specific challenge or happy accident during the production that really shaped the film in a new way?
Yeah, the movie was basically one happy accident after another, because I did not have a traditional script when I had an outline. When we started shooting, I had an outline, and I basically shot it in story order. So I started at the beginning of the story and then shot as we went and wrote scenes as we went. which is not the way that you're supposed to make a movie. But it allowed me to pivot and change what the story was going to be and take advantage of certain resources. So like, the actor Justin Arnold, who plays the character of Merritt, like, he's a musician, and so I added that to the story. And so he's also a bartender, and so we shot at the bar where he works because we could do it for free. Our production designer had worked at this fancy hotel, and we had this one scene that we're supposed to be at a fancy hotel, so she helped us get a discount to shoot there. So the whole time we were just trying to figure out what resources do we have, what can we take advantage of, what can we what's going to add value to the movie in terms of locations and certain worlds that maybe you don't see on screen all the time. So yeah, that's kind of how the project came together.
That is exactly what we were looking for.
Yeah.
Now, for our final question,
Yeah.
as a producer, how do you decide which stories are worth telling now? Like, what made Leads a film you saw and you wanted to bring to life, especially with the sibling dynamic and the actor class premise?
Absolutely. So Leads is my first feature film to produce. Prior to this, I had done several shorts and music videos, but going into my first feature, I had the experience, previous things to lean on, but it's not 100%. There's a lot of things. I know it's going to be a different process, and I think something also to think about is the time span of this is going to be much longer than any short I have worked on. It is a feature from prep, which was only 2 months, by the way, not even full 2 months of pre-production, and then production and post, and then on to the festival circuit. It's like we've been here for 2 years now, and it has to have that longevity. So the story, I think, has to be one worth spending so much time and effort and just something that you believe in, which is so interesting because we didn't have the full script. I just knew Bryan as a writer and director and even editor is fantastic, and he knows story like the back of his hand. And Heather Kafka and Justin Arnold are incredible actors, and it's like, okay, with the three of them crafting this story, I know it's something that I will have legs for and want to see it to the finish line. So it's been an absolute blast, and I think it's just believing in the story. If the story is good, if it's going to be successful, if you yourself as a person, because it's all about human emotion, right? If you feel something, and I have a brother who's here today, which is super exciting seeing on the big screen. So if you have something that you can connect to it, you have to believe others do too, and that's exactly why I thought this story was worth telling. So.
Amazing. Thank you so much for allowing us to speak with you today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all of you watching. If you'd like to check out more content with Sneak Peek, please check out our YouTube channel for more. Thank you so much. Goodbye.